Ambassador Sajjanhar, given China's track record, should we trust the dragon? Should we trust Xi Jinping when he says that we do have an agreement with India on this, weeding out the issues that we face at the border? Because in these last 4 years, China has clearly built infrastructure along the LAC. Why would it want to completely de-induct its troops now?
Yeah, thank you very much, Shreya. And I think you've put your finger on the accurate question, the question that really needs to be asked: that can China be trusted? Because I think basically, if you go back, we signed this confidence building measure agreements in 1993, 1996, 2005. Now, without batting an eyelid, China tore all those agreements and moved in April 2020. And, of course, they have not explained as to why did they do that at that time. There have been very many speculations, but one of the speculations has been that possibly they thought that India is too, closely tied up with this whole pandemic issue. The lockdowns, you would recall, had just then started at the end of April, 22nd, 24th April. So India would not be able to stand up against them. So I think with its robust military muscular response, I think India has surprised China. And so over the last 4 years, they thought that India would crumble. India would not be able to sustain, keeping 50, 60,000 troops. So you are very right that, when they could disregard those agreements, without any batting an eyelid, so to say, then how much can they be trusted? And right now, what has been announced, actually, it is just an understanding. We don't have the full details. When the final agreements between the two countries were not respected, can they really be trusted? One point more, if I could add on this, Shreya, is that all this started happening in April 2020. Before that, we also saw Doklam happen. That was, of course, happened in Bhutan.
Yeah.
Before that, we saw that when Xi Jinping was in India, after Prime Minister Modi's government came to power in September 2014, there was an incursion on the border in Depsan. In 2013, when the Chinese Prime Minister, his first visit outside the country was to India. When he came, there was incursion in Demchok. So every time China has been testing the resolve of India. And right now, I think we have shown them that we will not compromise with our territorial integrity and sovereignty. But the question comes back there again, that we have to keep our powder dry. We cannot trust China for on the basis of what it has done, not only with India, but with other countries also. Shreya.
Yes. Let me take this across to Colonel Dinny. Colonel Dinny, the fact, as Ambassador Sajjanhar mentioned, that time and again China has tried to test the waters here in India. Of course, so with the new regime, new government coming in, it has done it from day one. And therefore, that brings me to the question, why would China agree to a patrolling arrangement now? Is it because of the kind of domestic challenges that Xi Jinping is facing? There's been a post-pandemic effect also on the Chinese economy. There is a cost of living problem as well. All of these domestic challenges, the economy going through lots of ups and downs in China. Is that one of the reasons which could be why China has agreed to it, if at all it has? Because we still don't have a Chinese statement on this entire agreement yet.
Ma'am, to be very honest, like what the Honorable Foreign Minister once said, that nobody knows exactly why China did what they did in April 2020. But one thing is for sure, that whatever they had planned, whether it is close proximity towards US, I think today India is much more closer than I think to US than in 2020. No matter these minor returns which keep on, but I think we are fairly close, and we've seen that over the past few years. Whether it is to stop the infrastructure development which is happening in Ladakh area, that has not stopped. I think it has gone. The speed has only increased. So whether it is to contest India in this area, that also it has not stopped India from moving back. So what I'm trying to say is that whatever China had plans, by way of moving these troops in such a manner, changing the status quo. That has not been achieved. Even there was some talk that in 2019 we had repealed the Article 370. That is why they have done it just a month back or just a few days back. There's a chief minister who's elected in JNK, and he's taken an oath in the name of the Constitution of India. So these are reasons which were given then, and none of the things have been fulfilled by their aims have been fulfilled. Then why does China now plan to do this? I always believe, ma'am, that they were looking for an honorable exit. They did something which whatever plans they had, only God knows what exactly their plans were. But whatever they did, one thing was for sure, that they did not expect such a posturing by India as well. That the kind of deployment which we did on ground, mirror deployment which we did, was not anticipated by China. What they felt was when they show the force, we will succumb. When they show the force, we will succumb. But that didn't happen. In fact, we did a deployment which was much far beyond their expectations. That is where I think they got it wrong. And after that, they just wanted to move back, come back out of that particular issue. Now, added to that is what you said very rightly, that there are issues inside China. There is an economy which is not growing. There is a political issues which is there. Xi Jinping was out of the media and other issues for a very long time. It's just past few months that he's back. And also there are a lot of global issues also, which is actually making compelling China to move closer towards India. What is happening in Russia-Ukraine issue, or what is happening in the US elections. So there are many issues. I think the culmination of all this, after 4 years, I think today, if China moves back, they will have a much better face saving than if they would have done in 2021 or even 2022. I think it was just time they gave themselves for, so that they have an honorable exit. And today they can fairly say that we had an issue and we've resolved that. So I find that is the main reason why they're doing it now. It's a culmination of all those issues which has led to China, and yet, as Ambassador Sajjanhar sir rightly mentioned, that we have yet to receive an acknowledgement or a kind of agreement from their side. So we will wait for that to finally arrive at that. Yes, there's a resolution inside.
Yes.